All right, boys, let's talk about this. 2 months from now, on August 18th, Madden 24 will be dropping for its worldwide public release. And on the 15th of August, it will be dropping for its early access if you're a pre-order person like myself. That's us diehard Maddenites, okay? The beta has been out now for 10 days, 14 days, something, I don't know, maybe 2 weeks, something like that. And immediately, you know, you kind of, the beta's fun. The beta is fun. But there's something that I have been tweeting about a little bit. I have mentioned it briefly in past videos when I've talked about the beta, but it's become more and more apparent as I played more and more games. And truthfully, you know, I get the question a lot, Civil, what do you want to see in the new Madden game every single year? And I pretty much say this, man. I want the game has to be fun for me, right? And that can be different. Obviously, that there's so many things that go into it being fun. Madden 23, in my opinion, was not super fun. Madden 22 was really fun. The game has to be fun. And then, 2, I want the game to be different, right? Which every year is different gameplay-wise. If you say it's not different, you are looking at you are looking just at different things. You're just not looking at gameplay. This, honestly, probably just isn't the channel for you because it's just a pure gameplay channel. The game is very different every year. And then 3, the game has to be functional. And this has been a huge issue in previous years. And right now, with some signs in the beta, it's looking like we might have some issues with the game working. And I'm gonna get into that. In this past year, a lot of people actually said they really enjoyed the gameplay. But the year was kind of ruined by some game-breaking glitches throughout the year. Whether it be different MUT glitches. Or, in my opinion, what really set me over the edge in October, November was the Dickerson flashing glitch along with freeze glitching in the game, where a lot of my videos on my main channel, Civil, were season-long videos, and I would load into a game and Dickerson would be flashing. It would literally bother my eyes and bother, it would bother me looking at Dickerson flashing, and I'd load into my next game and then get glitched out of it. And I'm like, this is terrible. I can't record right now. I'm not going to record Dickerson flashing. And it was like that for about 2 weeks or so. Then we didn't get trophy packs for a while. There's a lot of other issues that made the game really tough to play. And on my part, right, I try to speak on from a general gameplay, general audience standpoint, but from being selfish right now, made it really hard for me to promote the game in a positive manner. I'm like, dude, I win a Super Bowl and I get like 10 coins. Like, who cares, right? I watched a video of myself talking about Madden 22. Talking about Madden 22 right after launch, and one of the big issues was a functionality issue before the first patch that came about a month into the game, where you couldn't see your buttons on defense. Obviously, you need to see your buttons on defense to make any kind of adjustments at all. And you don't even need to be a high-level player for this to apply to you. If you make any kind of adjustments, like manning somebody up onto somebody, putting somebody in a zone, you need to see buttons on defense. This was a functionality issue that I remember at the beginning of Madden 22 ruined the game for me until they fixed it. And then I had fun on the game. But it ruined the game for me. And it ruins the game for a lot of people. I think it kills off. Madden 24 right now, the beta, has a huge issue with button responsiveness. This applies on defense, this applies on offense, pre-snap, and during the snap. It is a huge, huge, huge issue that if EA does not fix before the launch, now mind you, we're in a beta right now. We are in a beta, so glitches are supposed to be part of a beta, and I understand that. I'm super good. That's totally fine for a beta. But if it doesn't get fixed, and I fear that it won't get fixed, that's what I'm upset about. That's what I'm scared about. As I fear that it won't get fixed due to prior trends. It's not me being a pessimist, a pessimist or pessimistic, whatever term I should be using there. It's not me being pessimistic about this. It's me using prior knowledge from data from prior years of how things were handled, and saying I am very scared that button unresponsiveness will continue to be a thing into the launch, and it won't be something they fix until a patch or 2 into the game, which is too late. Right now on defense, if you hit a button, you have to sometimes double or triple tap it. If you try to hit a button, make one adjustment on one player, and then get to another player to make another adjustment on them, it takes a considerable amount of time for the game to allow you to do so. If you're trying to move your players down, outside, over, whatever, it is slow to respond to that. It is very slow to respond to that and slow to get onto your next action. The transition between putting your slot corner in a hook curl and then putting your outside safety into a deep blue takes way too long. The button responsiveness just is not there yet. On offense, we're seeing very slow pre-snap adjustments, which I can't figure out if this is meant to be or not. But we're also seeing the ball get snapped, you hit a button to throw, and it not registering the throw. Now, when you first get on the beta, it's not the most... It, like, happens, and the reason I kind of briefly mentioned this in my other beta videos was that it felt like it was like it would happen. I'm like, oh, I must have messed up. I would hit B to throw it, and I wouldn't throw B. I'm like, oh, maybe I didn't hit B. You know what I mean? It was like kind of that issue. And now it's become like overseeing, my circle of Madden players who I talk to on the daily. Obviously, I have access to people of all skill level, but my kind of inner circle are people who play the game at the highest level, who put thousands of hours into the game, and everybody is saying the same thing, both in this inner circle and across the board of buttons are really slow. This is the quickest way to kill any online head-to-head game mode is the buttons being unresponsive. It makes the game not fun. It makes the game frustrating. It makes the game suck. This is something that we do not want. I have not played the beta in about a week because it is just not fun to play right now because of the button unresponsiveness on both sides of the ball. And I know a lot of other comp guys are the same way. Right now, the fact of the matter being that we are not playing the Madden 24 beta when it's out because it's not fun is extremely concerning. What's promising is that it's not fun for a very basic reason as of right now. Right, it's just button unresponsive. Besides that, I don't mind the game really, right? Like, you know what I mean? It's so early to make huge gameplay judgments, but it's like, hey, I enjoy the gameplay, right? I don't really mind anything, except for the unresponsiveness is really bad. And if it's like that for the first month of the game, like Madden 22 did not show defensive buttons for the first month of the game, it is going to kill the online player base. It is going to kill gameplay creators' passion for the game. It is going to kill the opportunity to have a dominant year for both Madden itself, Madden, whether it's from Madden, from actual just people enjoying the game, right, from a customer satisfaction point of view, and just from a what am I trying to say? A PR standpoint, right, where the game it's such a huge flaw in the game that can't happen. It's 2023. We cannot allow this to be in the game day one. In a beta, it's fine. The reason I'm making a big deal out of it, where I know a lot of devs and people will be like, well, it's a beta, is because I have played this game for long enough now, and I've been in the know of things where this does not always get fixed when it should get fixed. Again, Madden 22, top of my head, right, Madden 22, huge issue. Defensive buttons do not exist the first month of the game. That can't happen. That is a functionality issue. Madden 23, we had a flashing Dickerson in the game for 2 weeks. That would literally, like, if you had any sort of light sensory issues, you could not play online. Can't happen, right? And there's a bunch of other issues, obviously, on top of that. Those are just two off the top of my head. Functionality is huge. It is massive. It is so big. The game has to work. And I'm afraid that this issue is going to last. And a big thing is that this is now a known issue from EA, which thank you, EA, for acknowledging this. When the beta got released, it was not a known issue. I don't know how, truthfully. Again, if you watch my first couple beta videos, it was something that I kind of mentioned in the first couple beta videos within a couple games of playing. And then now, I've gotten to take feedback from a lot of other people, along with myself playing more games. It's like, oh, this is obvious. Like, this is a big issue. And I am very, very concerned. Ideal world, they update the beta one more time before whenever the beta time ends. And I come back and make a video and say, hey, they've fixed it, boys. Let's go. Let's go. But I don't know. I am obviously very excited for Madden 24, and I think there's good potential in the game, right? Another year on next gen, everything feels a little bit smoother. Everything should be running. They have their order of operations way better. Second year of Comp Pass, all that stuff. Everything should run smoother. But I'm very concerned. I'd be lying. I would be doing a disservice to you guys as my viewers if I said I was not concerned about this button unresponsiveness issue. And I do think this is one of those issues where it's not like zones being bad where it doesn't kill the game, right? Zones being bad is a preference kind of thing almost. This is like a game doesn't work if this does not get fixed. Really hoping it does. I'm obviously excited for Madden 24. But yeah, that's kind of my thoughts. Let me know what your guys' thoughts are. Besides that, I mean, obviously there's little bugs and stuff like that within the game. This, to me, is the number one biggest thing, and I don't think it's close. I don't think it's close. But yeah, boys, we're trying to hit 10K, by the way. So hit the subscribe button. Trying to hit 10K by Madden 24. It could be pretty hard, but let's see.